But yeah, you still have... Oh! Well, I wasn't expecting that. Hey, what's up? So this is an all-new format for the show. The intention is to give you more videos and more content per game. If you don't like this, please, by all means, leave a dislike on the video. I really mean that. It'll give me feedback on whether or not this idea is working. If you do like it, but there's some things you want to see in future episodes, let me know in the comments down below, because right now this is a brand new idea for me. It's a unformed ball of clay. So let's mold it into something really special or get rid of it entirely. But anyways, let's do this. All right, let's talk about this real quick. I remember from my first time doing this as a Boundary Break episode that Link and Wolf Link show up in the same shot. So if we turn the camera right now, you can see him right there, and he runs right past him. I'm going to look at where Link goes for as long as I can. This is why I didn't include in the episode, though, because the camera keeps moving. Yeah, see, and already I lost track of Link and Epona. The cool thing here, though, is that the title screen is not HUD. It is an object inside of the game. So we can move it around in a 3D space, unlike the press start, which is attached to the HUD. Very cool stuff. All right, first shot of the game, and we're going to give you a zoom out. The best thing about this format for Boundary Break is that I can give you as many zoom outs as you want, as you can stomach, because before I was just giving you the most interesting zoom outs. I couldn't give you like as many zoom outs as possible because at a certain point it just becomes redundant and it's hard to talk about anything regarding zooming out environments. So now at least I can just talk about whatever. But we got this, and I'm starting to notice now, this is something I didn't notice before, the void, quote unquote, is not a void that's white. It's apparently a skybox with very heavy amounts of effects going on, because there isn't a traditional skybox texture wrapped around this. It's just pure white with like red borders, and those red borders seem to encapsulate whatever object it hugs. Like this environment here, you can see these red stripes all along. Usually that's really bad. In Super Smash Bros. Wii U, there was this huge issue where the white void was eating the environment, and so it made zooming out or just doing basically anything really ugly and unsatisfying to look at. But in this case, it looks like the void is typically black, and we have a strange white skybox. All right, we got Link off screen here, so why don't we see what's going on with that? And it looks like he's got a kind of like deep thought expression, which is kind of interesting. Again, I'm going to reset back to what it was before. His eyes are off camera. And yeah, you don't even get to see that. The second the camera pans up, he's already changed his expression. So there's a, I guess you can consider an unused expression. You might also be wondering where Link's companion is. I'm sorry, I can't remember all the names of all the characters. I'm not that hardcore. But it's very common in cutscenes like this. If the camera is from the perspective of the character will be missing so that his geometry doesn't clip into the camera. And again, because it's not from Link's perspective, we get to have him in the shot. And now that it's back to his perspective again, he disappeared. And now it's back. Wow, I can't even keep up with this. Oh. It looks like he's frozen in place. Oh yeah, Link's gonna... It looked like Link was just about to walk through him. All right. So I think what we got going on here is that when actors are off screen, the animators decide to just lead them where they last stood. We're going to see if this is consistent throughout all the cutscenes of this game. All right, looks like I remember this. They walk off screen here, so let's see what happens. Okay. Did you see that? I'm gonna go backwards. It looks like Link stopped in place, but Epona kept going. So apparently the ropes just start stretching out more and more. That was great. Oh, Link's holding nothing there. Oh, look at Epona's invisible. They turned the actor for Epona invisible there. You could tell by the fact that the rope was still in place, but the Epona was not. It looks like, what is it, Elia? She took Link off, I'm sorry, Epona off screen there. What do we got? What do we got? Is she still over there? Yep. And then there was a cutaway. All right, great. Oh, yeah, but she's still there. Okay. It looks like the characters do have a lock-in-place feature for every time there's a cutscene. And looks like Epona keeps blinking despite the fact that everything else is frozen solid, including Link's friend here. Okie dokie. Well, we got Link in the windowsill. Let's take a look at that. Didn't mention this earlier, but when you're inside the house, there's a fully modeled room, and you can see outside the window. And I think we're going to go back to that before we do anything else and show you what that looks like. But here's what it looks like from the outside. Obviously, there's a lot of resources that need to be used to just create this outdoor scene. So you can't have a fully modeled room on the inside of this house. So what we got here is a small box to represent that. And you can see the texture is just doubled up on all sides. And it looks like we're going to have Link go into this house really quickly, because I do think he goes back outside. Yep, he does. And so, although there was a cutaway, we can go right back to where he was. Here he is. He's just standing now against that box. And then we got the family over here too. Huh, they never went away. I guess if it's just one long cutscene, those actors are going to be stuck in place the entire time until the cutscene's through. That's... Ooh. All right, let's see if we can find anything interesting here. So Link's walking this way. We got... Oh, she looks at him real quick. I don't think... Yeah. So what I just did here is I just cut back to the original coordinates of the camera. So what you just saw there was Elia looking at Link, despite the fact that, again, that's not shown on camera. There's a lot of expressions, apparently, that are not shown to the player. Very interested by that. Because I know you get a perspective of the outside from the inside, which means that if it was low poly from the inside, viewing from the outside, I'm sorry if this is all really complicated to you guys, but then it should mean that it's low poly on the outside looking from the inside. I never even noticed that. There is no environment on the outside. It's just a white void. But again, I don't think it's a white void. It's... No. Oh, yep. Yep, white skybox. I had no idea that they did that. All right, I want to get a close-up of that squirrel. So let's do that. Oh, perfect. Wow. So there you go. Low poly squirrel for you. I love all the little critters that they have in this game. There's lots of birds, lots of small animals that are... I guess birds are small animals, so what am I even saying here? But I just love that they have so many of them. So now we have the Ordon Village. I remembered that. I didn't even have to read it. But you're going to find that I forget every character's name except for probably Colin. Oh, geez. Okay. Let me explain that real quick. You probably didn't even notice it, but I feel like it needs an explanation real quick. You might notice that there's a character with a bloody sword. Obviously, in the original game, there was no bloody sword. But this was a favor I did for Zelda Universe, and they wanted me to create a texture that looked like a sword that had been, I guess, used recently. And so I made that effect for them, and I captured footage so that it could be used in one of their narrative-driven YouTube videos of Twilight Princess. And I just forgot to remove that texture, I suppose. That's years old now at this point. It's crazy. But let's do a zoom out of Ordon Village. You know, one of the key areas of the game. I think it's very important that we cover this. I do apologize for how the water looks. It has a very specific effect that's completely affected by where the camera is pointed at. So it's very specific to where the game's in-game camera is. And so if you take this, you know, third-party camera past where Link's position is, it messes up the water effect in this particular game. Let's get a nice close look at these frogs over here. Now again, details in video games, man, I'll tell you, developers put a lot of work into a lot of little things that players won't even take the time to notice, but these frogs are fully modeled creatures with their own AI behavior. It's really impressive, and when you take the camera up close, they don't look too shabby. Maybe my opinion is different from yours, but I think these look great considering what, you know, what sort of detail they have. Here's a close-up of some of the fish as well. I know that you kind of get a decent look at them when you actually capture them. Okay, so first thing I'm noticing right off the bat with this ranch is that there seems to be smoke off in the distance here. And again, I think that has to do with the volcano that's supposed to be way off in the distance and you just can't see it. But there's most definitely a smoke effect. And I can't explain that. I can speculate, but I can't explain. Yeah, huh. Very strange. Another thing to notice as well is that there's a Ordon Village that is not fully modeled like it is when you're inside of the village. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, let's see what all the differences are between this and the models that you see when you're actually in there. First of all, I'm noticing here that there's no door. Let me just adjust there. There we go. Looks much better. Not modeled on all sides because they know that Link will never be able to see this building from this perspective. Very smart. This building does have a door, if you can even call it that. It looks like tree bark used as a door. Then we move over here. This is where the river's supposed to be. The river runs dry in Ordon Village these days. It's cool because there seems to be textures for twigs and branches. I love it. Goat in! Let's try to make the idea of getting goats into a stable really exciting for the player. Alright. So now we're at this scene where Link is supposed to be looking out his window again, or the kids are calling out to him. Let's see what we can find in this scene. It's always important to try to find things first before letting the cutscene play out. Well, we got Colin over here with Epona. I guess that kind of makes sense. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be in this scene. Oh! All right, we got Link. He's stored off to the side here. Apparently these kids can't see him in their peripheral vision. But all right, I believe this is the end of part 1. If there's anything you felt I missed, I'm still in Ordon Village, and I'm doing this as we play through the game. So the fact that I end here means that you still have the time and opportunity to tell me what I should check out next. Like, if there's anything in Ordon Village you want to see, let me know. If there's anything upcoming, let me know. I'm going to try to make these about 10 minutes each, but of course, I'm always welcome to feedback. So let me know what you want to see in future episodes. Maybe the editing wasn't quite what you expected. Maybe there's something a little bit more to it that you want. I want to hear it. I want to know exactly what your thoughts are. If you just straight up hated this, I want to hear it. But of course, your voice will be heard even more so if you choose to give me a dislike. Or if you really liked it, give me a like. But until then, it should only be a couple of days before we get to the next episode. We're going to try out 4 of these in total, and if it's a total failure, we're going back to the regular format. And just so you know, every time I complete a game in this format, they will be edited down into the cream of the crop standard boundary break type episode. So standard boundary breaks are not going completely away. It just means that it's going to take a little bit longer to get there because we are also doing Let's Plays on top of that. So regardless, I appreciate that you guys have been watching this episode, and I hope that I get to see you next couple days. Take it easy.